Okay, hello my friends. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Kathrine. I'm an anti-diet health coach, nutritionist, and I help women and men heal their relationship with food, overcome disordered eating, overcome emotional eating, and really create healthy habits that truly last for life. If you have been a subscriber, there are 168 of you now, and I could not be more excited. I know that that's like not a big number in terms of YouTube, but it means the world to me because YouTube is something I've been wanting to do for years, and now I'm finally getting to do it. So truly, when I say I appreciate your support, I really, really mean it. And we have a cameo from one of my cats today. This is Nova, and if you watch my videos, you've seen him before. Hi, baby. He just had dinner. Ooh, geez, that was quite a tail thwack, little guy. So now he's off to wreak havoc, I'm sure. Today, I am gonna be talking about if you are trying to lose weight, if you're trying to get lean, if you're trying to lose a bit of fat, whatever it is, you need to watch this video. And I'm gonna be giving you a really big piece of advice that I think everyone should know before they go on a weight loss journey, whether it's 50 pounds or 5 pounds or something in between. So by the title of this video, you can probably tell we're going to be talking about self-worth, self-esteem, and body image, and how you really need to be focusing on those if you are trying to lose weight, okay? And the reason I wanted to make this video today is because I have so many women who come to me and ask me, tell me that they want to lose weight, but they also want to heal the relationship with food, but they feel like it has to be one or the other. Now, there's another cat over here, so if you see a shadow or a tail, that's why. If you are on Instagram, if you're on TikTok, if you've maybe even been on YouTube for a while, if you're on social media and you follow maybe food freedom, intuitive eating content on there, maybe you follow some different people who teach about some different things, right? Chances are you might be at this place where you are wanting to heal your relationship with food, you're wanting to practice intuitive eating, but then there's also days where you feel like you just want to go on a restrictive diet and just lose a bunch of weight really quickly because you're so tired of how you feel in your body. So I think there's kind of like two camps that I'm talking to today. That's camp one, is over here where you're like in this weird in-between flux of, yeah, I want to heal my relationship with food, I want to feel better in my body, I want to not let the scale determine how I feel about myself, I want to learn how to intuitively eat, right? I want to stop worrying about food, but I also want to lose weight, but I also feel tempted to go on this like diet. I also would just love to lose 10 pounds in 2 weeks and call it good. So that's kind of like camp number one. Camp number two are the people who are watching this and are like, I literally cannot relate to this. I would just like to lose weight, period. So I'm curious, which one are you? Leave me a comment below and tell me kind of like, what is your experience with your relationship with food, with your weight loss journey? Have you been trying to lose weight for a long time? Is this the first time you're trying? Have you been on a bunch of diets? I would just love to know where you guys are coming from, and that means I can also make more targeted videos to help you with that thing. Now, the people in camp one, I see they have this weird in between of wanting to learn how to intuitively eat and gain food freedom, but also would still secretly kind of like to lose weight. These are a lot of people who become my clients because they are really struggling with their relationship with food. There's usually a lot of guilt and shame around their eating patterns. There's usually some restricting and binging, or restricting and overeating, or emotional eating. There's a lot of stress and anxiety and tension around food, right? But so these women are usually the ones who end up working with me. And this is why I'm not really a huge fan of people trying to like self-teach intuitive eating online. And I actually made an entire video about whether or not intuitive eating works, which I'll link somewhere over here so you can go click and watch that. And I really recommend you watch that if you've been trying to intuitively eat and you're not really sure how to do it. I kind of walk you through exactly why I think so many people fail at intuitive eating. But the short version is that most people don't really take the time to go through the entire 10 principles of intuitive eating. That's number one. And that's like not necessarily your fault. It's fine if you don't necessarily want to follow all the principles of intuitive eating. But number two, intuitive eating also tells you that you can't want to lose weight. You shouldn't intentionally lose weight. And that is at odds with what a lot of people want to do, which is they would like to lose weight, but also learn how to intuitively eat at the same time. Some people will say you can't do both, in which case we can get into kind of a more philosophical discussion of that, right? You might not be following the true core of intuitive eating, but I certainly think you can apply a lot of the principles of intuitive eating and food freedom and having a more neutral and positive relationship with food. And if you would like to sustainably lose weight, I believe you can do that along the way. But that brings me to the point of today's video, which is that before you can do all this, before you can focus on that sustainable weight loss, there are a lot of things we need to make sure are in place first. So this is really what I do with my clients in the method implemented healthy habits for life and in my one-on-one coaching practice is if someone wants to lose weight, okay, we're going to talk about that. But first we're going to evaluate what are your current health habits looking like, right? What are your health behaviors looking like? What is your current body image like? What is your self-esteem like right now? How are you identifying your self-worth right now? This is a really big one, is your self-worth, okay? So many people tell me that they would feel so much better if they just lost 10 pounds, right? They're going to feel a lot better about themselves when they look hotter or when they're skinnier, when they're leaner, when they're a size, whatever, XYZ, right? When they've lost X amount of pounds, when they get under the 200 mark on the scale. There are a lot of like metrics that we place for ourselves that will feel good when insert blank, right? And that might be true. You might be like, yeah, well, Katrina, I did lose 50 pounds and I felt great after. Yeah, absolutely. This isn't to say you can't feel good after losing weight. Of course you can. And that's a big part of why so many people want to do it. However, what I'm presenting here is the idea and the reminder that we need to focus on how you're determining your self-worth and how you evaluate your character, how you perceive yourself before and during your weight loss journey, okay? Because I can tell you this, it is so easy to think the grass is greener, to think when I lose this weight, when I lose the next 20 pounds, when I fit into the size 6 or size 10 or size 4 or size 12, whatever size it may be for you, then I'll feel good in my body, then I'll be confident, then this and that will happen, then I'll be more social, then I'll go out and meet someone, then I'll be more outgoing, then I'll meet more friends, then I'll wear those clothes I've always been wanting to wear. Whatever it is, we put so many things off because we say, when I look like this, then I'll do this. And in reality, we end up holding ourselves back from the life we've been wanting to live for a long time, right? All of this to say is that you really, really need to figure out how are you determining your character and your self-worth so that when you do lose weight, you're not disappointed with the way you look because now there's something else for you to fixate on. And I can guarantee you there will be. I tell all my clients this who come to me and are like, yeah, but when I do this thing, when I lose this weight, I'm going to feel so much better. I say that might be the case, and it probably will. You probably will feel better because you're going to feel proud of yourself. Maybe you'll have more energy. You're going to be proud of the commitment, the consistency you've made, right? You're probably eating more nutrient-dense foods. You're not having as much stress and anxiety around food and eating. You're going to feel better for a lot of reasons. However, it is so easy to get sucked into, okay, now I'm a size 6, now I want to be a size 4. Now, at first I wanted to lose 50 pounds, but now my stomach isn't flat, right? So it's just like when we're constantly moving the goalpost, when the expectation constantly gets pushed up, eventually you're going to reach a point where your goals aren't really attainable, right? And that's not to say like you couldn't have a flat stomach if you wanted to. Yeah, I mean, if you really wanted to, I guess you could. If you really were going to go on a very like lean diet and you really want to lean down, you could do it. But what is that costing you in the meantime? Okay. So this is where I really want you to ask yourself, how do I determine my self-worth? And if right now your answer to that question is based on the way I look, that's fine. And this is another point I really wanted to make with this video, is that I don't want to give the impression that I think you shouldn't care about how you look, because I 100% think you should care about your appearance and how you present yourself. But I don't think your appearance and your presentation should be the only thing determining your self-worth, okay? And that's a big thing, because a lot of us obviously care about how we look, as we should. I really believe that your appearance, the way you present yourself in the world, the way we wear clothes, the way we, especially the way we wear clothes, the way we wear makeup, the way we do our hair, the way we accessorize, all these things, the way we're confident or not, the way we choose or choose not to wear certain styles of clothing that we feel are cool or fashionable, our style, right? Whatever that is a direct expression of your personality. I really see our external appearance, what we choose to display to the public and present ourselves as, is like a reflection of how we feel on the inside. And maybe not every day. Maybe you work in an office where you're like, I hate what I have to wear. I know I used to do that and it was not a reflection of me. And it affected how I perceive myself because I didn't like what I was wearing, right? Here's another cat. Ooh, hi little guy. Hi. You're gonna see him come back because he is in a cuddly kind of mood. All of this to say, yes, care about how you look. I care about how I look. I think most of us care about how we look. And I don't think it's superficial or vapid or shallow to care about how you look, because how you look is literally a presentation to the world of how you feel on the inside. It's how do you want others to perceive you, and not just how do you want to be perceived, but how do you want to present yourself and carry yourself in the world. So I know I used to feel bad. I used to feel this weird guilt and shame around caring about what I looked like. And I had to get over that. It was this weird weird thing I had going on. And I don't know if anyone can relate to this. I'd be curious. I'm very curious to know if any of you guys can relate to that. But so that's something I talk with my clients about a lot too, is that in this whole conversation of food freedom and intuitive eating, along the way, it can feel like, oh, I just shouldn't care what I look like at all. Which, sure, if you get to that point and it's helping you, by all means, like embrace it, like whatever works for you, right? But I think what happens for a lot of women is that we say, oh, I don't care what I look like, my size doesn't matter, my weight doesn't matter. And in reality, we're just like repressing those feelings that are truly underlying of like, oh, I actually really, really do care how I look. And it's killing me that I feel so low confidence in my body, right? It's killing me that I would like to lose weight, but I feel guilty for wanting to lose weight because I feel like I shouldn't want to lose weight because I should be happy in my body. Do you see what I'm saying? So I work with a lot of women who get very just like caught up in all like the mental gymnastics of like feeling guilty and shameful for a lot of things around food, around body image, around body size, around what we should feel like or look like or not care about, right? And I can relate to that because I used to deal with all that myself. So again, this comes back to my point of how do you evaluate your self-worth? We've established that it's fine and encouraged to care about your appearance because it's your presentation in the world, and nothing makes you feel better than looking really good. I've yet to meet a person who doesn't feel better when they look good, right? If you disagree with that, again, please let me know in the comments. I would truly love to hear from you. So that's number one. It's fine and encouraged to care about how you look. Number two, don't make that your entire basis of your self-worth. If you don't feel good about yourself because you're not wearing makeup and you're in sweats all day, I mean, that's fine. Maybe you feel more confident and attractive in makeup, like for example. But if you're like, whoa, I cannot be seen leaving the house today, like, okay, it's time for a bit of self-reflection, right? So my homework for you is, if this is you, wherever you are with your self-worth, is really to journal out what are the characteristics about yourself that you like. What do you like about yourself? Hopefully that's a long list. And this is not like an egocentric thing at all. It's literally like, you're an interesting, unique, individual person. There have to be a lot of interesting, compelling qualities that you have that no one else has, okay? So what do you like about yourself? Write it all out. Write it all out. What do you like about yourself? What are you good at, right? In any regard. Are you a great daughter? Are you a great family member? Are you a wonderful, supportive, caring friend? Are you diligent? Do you stay persistent, right? Are you really creative? Are you really good at figuring things out? Are you able to see the positive in day-to-day things, right? Whatever it is, everything is going to be different for each of us. Whatever comes up for you. And if you're like, man, I am really stumped, that's a great sign that this is a good exercise for you to be doing, okay? That's a great sign that there's a lot more work to be done here. And this doesn't have to be like a one and done thing. This is something where if you're stumped about this, you can take some time to think about it as you go for a walk, as you go about your morning and evening routine, as you're in between little tasks at work, whatever it is. This is like an ongoing thought process, right? Of like, what do I actually like about myself, right? I find another way to gauge our self-worth and to define and evaluate our self-worth is based on our morals and ethics. So what do you stand for? What is important to you? What matters to you? Those are great questions for determining your self-worth as well. What is important to you? What matters to you? What do you care about? What do you really like? What gets you fired up? What is meaningful to you, right? So I could answer all these questions for you guys off the top of my head because I have been thinking about these things for a long time because they were a really big part of healing my relationship with food. And two, my values, my morals, my perception of things is really helps me make decisions on an everyday basis, right? Like gives me a lot of clarity around what is going to work for me, what based on what I know about myself and what I value, I know that I would want to make this kind of choice. So I do this exercise, this core values exercise with some clients. And that's really where we get into understanding what are your values and what is important to you. And this is where I'm a huge fan. You guys know I have a background in psychology. I'm a huge fan of personality tests. Not all of them are evidence-based, but a lot of them are, like Myers-Briggs, for example. And that can be really useful too, because the more you understand yourself, the more you are able to understand what is going to be important for you and in all kinds of things. What's going to be important for you in a workplace, in a relationship, what's going to be important for you in terms of the way you take care of yourself in your day-to-day life. Most people thrive off of routine. Some people don't want to admit it. I've come to the conclusion that almost all people thrive off of routine. That doesn't mean doing the same thing in and out every single day forever, but some type of routine benefits a lot of people, especially very creative people, especially people with ADHD, because routine helps ground you and keep you calm and centered. Okay. So for instance, that's like one of the things that I learned after taking a personality test. Not that like I thrive off routine, but I learned more about myself. I'm pretty type A. It makes sense. I like to be organized and stay in a routine. So if I ever get in a slump where I'm like not in a routine, I feel it because it doesn't make me feel good. So instead of like me going on for a month of not being in a routine and being like freaking out that something's wrong and I'm so off my game, now if I have a couple days where I don't feel great and I realize I'm off my routine, it's like, oh, you just need to get back to doing 1, 2, 3, these things. Okay, now I just get back into my routine and I'm back to feeling good. Like, do you see what I'm saying? All of this to say, this conversation about like, what do you need to do before you start your weight loss journey? Yeah, identifying and shifting your self-worth is maybe a deeper conversation to have, but it's a very valuable one to have, because weight loss, a lot of the time for a lot of people, is about feeling better in your body, maybe reducing certain health risks, right? Maybe you want to lower your blood sugar, your blood pressure, your triglycerides, yada, yada. There's a lot of other outcomes, health outcomes you could want from that. However, for a lot of people, it's also an aesthetic venture, right? Like, you want to look better, you want to feel hotter, you want to be more attractive, you want to feel confident in yourself. Those are all wonderful things to feel, and by all means, you should pursue them. But within that conversation of, seeking aesthetic outcomes or benefits, we do need to talk about self-worth, so that all of a sudden one day you don't wake up and you reached your weight loss goal long ago, but now your stomach isn't super flat, or your arms are maybe still a little dangly, or whatever else, insert other insecurity, whatever it may be, and you're not hyper fixated on that thing that you get so lost in all the other progress and all the other, changes that you've made. So I think that sums up all my thoughts for today. I'm super curious to hear what you guys think about this topic of self-worth. What is your experience with weight loss, and how does your perception of yourself and your self-worth and your value change? I would love to have more of a discussion with you guys in the comments. Let me know what you think, and I will be back soon with more videos. Oh, as always, please like and subscribe. It really helps my channel. Whenever you like a video, it says to the YouTube algorithm that this was beneficial for you enjoyed the video, so it pushes out the video to more people who might also enjoy it. So I really appreciate your support. Be sure to turn on notifications so that you get notified when I upload a new video, and I will see you very soon.